Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brad. This is the Firefighter's Financial Toolbox, where we talk about investing, retirement, taxes, and building a financial future that can lead you to financial freedom. If that's something that might interest you, go ahead and click that like button over there and we'll get started. So today we're talking about retirement, and you guys, everybody wants to know, how much do I need for retirement? And this is an individual thing, but the first thing you need to do, and to me the most important thing you need to know, is this: how much money do I spend every year? Because if you don't know what you spend, there's no way you can figure out exactly how much you're going to need. If I need $50,000, then I need to save X amount. But if I need $70,000 a year, I need to save more. All right, so how do we figure this number out? We have to actually do a little homework. We have to do a little bit of work to figure out exactly what we are spending all of our money on. Now, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you a way to get a free deliverable from my site that you can download to do just that. We're going to go into my computer and we're going to take a look at a simple spreadsheet that I've made that we can add up and figure out how much we actually are spending and how much we're going to need. Okay, here you guys, we are in my computer and we're looking at my spreadsheet that I've made for determining how much we need in retirement. Now you notice we've got different categories. The first thing we have is we have fixed expenses. We also have flexible expenses, because as you know, not everything is a bill that we pay regularly. So let's start. The biggest one for most people is housing. So let's say that we have a mortgage of $1,500. So we enter that. We pay $300 a month in taxes for our property taxes. And let's say we don't have any HOAs at my house, but we have, let's say, $50 a month in lawn and garden expenses. All right, next category we have is utilities. So most people have an electric bill every month. Let's say ours is $100 a month. Our gas bill is $45 a month. Our water and sewer is $100 a month. Our garbage is $50 a month. Our phone and internet, we'll say, is $80 a month. And we'll say we don't have cable TV. Now, moving down, next thing is food. So we got groceries. This is your normal groceries in your house that we eat. So we'll say $250 a month there. Restaurants, let's say, and that's a flexible expense because we don't always go to restaurants, but let's say $100 a month, and make that flexible. And then I have snacks and coffee, so that would be like going out and grabbing a bite with a friend or having a cup of coffee. So we'll say $25 a month there as well. Now, if we have a car payment or a lease payment, we'd enter that. So let's say we have a $400 car payment. We spend about $250 a month in gas. Parking, let's say, that's a flexible expense because depending if you go out, I don't have to pay for parking at home, so let's say $15 a month. And mass transit, if you ride some sort of mass transit, that would be, we don't really do that. Okay, so health insurance. Now this can be another large expense, you guys. So let's say that our health insurance is $1,000 a month. Prescriptions are another $150 a month. And let's say the copays, that's a flexible, well, let's say that's $100 a month as well. That's kind of a hard one to tell. Now, if you have a fitness program, you pay for a gym membership, you'd add that in here. What about appearance? Appearance, so clothing. Obviously, if we're not working anymore, we don't have to go buy a lot of expensive clothing to dress ourselves. So that could be a flexible expense as far as I'm concerned, because I already have clothes. So let's say that we spend another $50 a month in clothing, which is probably high. But we'll leave that there. Dry cleaning. You don't really have to do dry cleaning that much, so that would be a flexible expense. Let's say maybe $10 a month there. Hair care, haircuts and whatnot, that could be another $15 a month. And then miscellaneous for whatever, so you can add those in. Next thing I have on here is entertainment. So if you go to the movies, now that to me is another one where we could say, okay, $20 a month, we're going to go for movies. If you have you buy books, or you have magazine or newspaper subscriptions, that could be $15 a month. If you have sports that you like to play, if you like to golf, or you like to play tennis or things like that, you could add that in. As well as theater and concerts. That could be another one where it's depends, right? So let's say $25 a month there. Travel. Now travel's hard because you may take one big trip a year, or you may take several little trips. So trying to figure out a monthly value is a little bit harder. So let's say we want to take one large trip to Mexico. So that's going to cost us $1,500. Let's make it easy. Let's make it $1,200. So let's add in $100 a month, or $110 a month, let's say. If you have outstanding credit card debt, you guys don't, first of all. But if you did, remember though, you're putting things on the credit card, so you will have some balances. So let's go ahead and say that we spend $500 a month on the credit card. I don't have any student loans, and I've already paid for my child's education. Now, do you have any business expenses? Because maybe you have a side hustle that you're doing in retirement. You would add those here. If you have alimony payments, add this in here. So we come down to the bottom, we notice that we have about $49.50 a month in fixed expenses. And we have about $310 in our flexible expenses. So that brings us to an annual total of about $63,120. Now, let's go over to the other side of the worksheet here, and let's take a look at our income. So, we're talking about retirement income, so this could vary, right? But let's say that you have a side hustle. Let's say you have a YouTube business like I do. And let's say you make, you have a small channel and you make $150 a month. If you have any rental properties that you get income from, now this is the money that you make. If you have to pay a mortgage, I'm assuming you're renting the property for more than what the mortgage payment is. So if you have some of that, add that in. What about pension income? Pensions are getting way less common, but let's say that, for example, you have a spouse that has an old pension that he or she's going to receive, and that might pay you $150 a month. So we'll add that in. All right, Social Security. Now this is one that is going to depend on when you retire. If you're retiring early like me, I've got at least 7 years before I can even draw Social Security. So I'm going to leave that one blank in my case for now. And these are all made up numbers, you guys, but so that. So if you or your spouse is actually receiving alimony, this would be where you would add that in here. If you have any kind of inheritance or a trust fund that you're getting money from, add that in there. Dividend income. So right now I'm making about $105 a month in dividend income. So I'm going to add that there. Interest. If you have a high yield savings account, granted they're not paying much, but maybe you have a big enough balance and you get, say, $10 a month there. And then if you have any other income, because there's lots of different income sources, you guys, and I've left some extra spots here for you to add those in. So when we come down to the bottom, we see that my annual income that I'm making from these side hustles and my wife's little pension and some dividend income, we're at about $49.80, so almost $5,000. So we take that number and we subtract that from what we need, and we see that in retirement, in this scenario, we would need about $58,140. That gives us a point to start with, because we know if we can take that number, let's say, and multiply it by 25, we know that we will have enough money, theoretically, to last us for a 30-year retirement. Now, if you're retiring earlier, that number could be adjusted. So I told you guys, if you stuck around to the end, I would tell you how you can get a hold of this particular spreadsheet. So if you look in the description below, you guys, there's going to be a link to this. All you have to do is click on it. You feel free to save it to your Google Drive and fill it out with your numbers. Now, the nice thing about this is if you track it a couple of months, you can get a pretty good idea of about where you're going to be. Now remember, this is in today's dollars, so you have to remember that these numbers will be adjusted in future for inflation. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that spreadsheet. It's available. I'm going to put a link for it down there in the description, and all you have to do is click on the link and you should be able to download that, or at least save it to your own Google Drive, fill it in with the numbers that are appropriate for you, so you can get the first step done in figuring exactly how much you need for retirement. As I said, getting that first step, knowing exactly how much money you're spending each year. Now, obviously, this is in today's dollars, you guys. And when you do that, you're going to inflate it you're going to raise that amount by inflation each year when you take it out. But this is the first step that you can sit down and actually configure a actual number to base your retirement needs on. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, do me a favor, drop me a like. If you're not already subscribed, you know the deal, you guys. Hit the red button, ring the bell. You get notified every time I make a video. And despite my name of Firefighters Financial Toolbox, I feel like anybody can get benefit and information from my channel. Thanks for coming out. We'll see ya.